Hello and welcome to Light Guided. Lisa here to do your February monthly energy reading. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you who happen to see this video on February 14th. I'm wishing you and sending you much love and light. I'm excited to do this reading today. There's been quite a bit happening in the world, and I feel like there's a sense of a lot of messages coming through for many of you. Before I get started, I want to take a moment to just focus in on the energy, and let's bring the energy inward. As for those of you watching, if you are inclined, feel free to close your eyes and just take a few gentle breaths, bringing your awareness into your heart space. And as you breathe in, just notice the abundance and the love that live and exist in that heart space. And if you are experiencing any blocks in that area, I will do a clearing before we get started on the reading to help move some of that energy. I am seeing that some of you have quite a lot of blocks in the throat chakra as well. So I'm just going to take a moment to bring in my healing master and my guardian angels. And if you're following along, feel free to continue to just gently breathe. I'm going to do a quick clearing. And I'm going to bring in some grounding energy. Open the crown. Balance all the chakras from the root to the crown. Opening. Balancing, aligning. Let's ground the second and third chakra as well. And the healing masters are creating a container here, a bubble, an energy of healing. And they're showing me pink rose quartz and yellow citron. Okay, great. We've moved a little bit of energy here for some of you, so hopefully you are feeling a little bit more grounded and a little bit more present to the messages that want to come forward here for you. As I sat down prior to the reading to do my meditation, it's funny, sometimes a lot of energy will come pouring in, and right now for some reason there are a lot of beings who have passed over to the other side. My father included. In fact, he recently passed in the last several weeks. And so I'm feeling that thin veil here in this energy today. So we may have some surprises. We'll see if anybody comes through as the reading unfolds. But just know that your angels are with you, your guardians are with you, and your loved ones are with you at this time. Oh. Oh, I'm curious. Let's see. They gave us 3 energies here. The heart transmission, the power of the divine masculine, and dark night of the soul. The way this energy comes across for me is that so in the energy of dark night of the soul, we're often a little cut off from our spiritual and intuitive, the spiritual and intuitive energies, okay? So they're not specifically saying here that you're in a dark night of the soul or that you're going to be in a dark night of the soul, but what they're showing me is there's a need for a different vibration to come through and a need for the collective to come together in a way that will be resonating at a different frequency. And this may resonate for some of you and not for others, but basically oftentimes when we connect into the spiritual energies, there's a sense of this lightness, there's a sense of this very high vibration, high consciousness energy. And they're showing me a different energy, a need for a different energy here. And in a way, again, not exact interpretation of the card, but this divine masculine energy, the masculine energy is the energy of movement. It's the energy of action. It's the other side of manifestation. It's what happens, when you have the divine feminine, and the divine feminine comes up with and I'm speaking metaphorically and energetically here, but the feminine energy is about the creation, and the masculine energy is about the manifestation of the creation. So you need both, right? So moving into this period in February, and they're showing me through the third or fourth week of March, there's a need here to shift our energy and move into a very concentrated and focused energy that is both about this kind of internal, hold on one second. So the best way I think I can describe this is, and I'll use the example of a female body giving birth to a baby. There's a point at which the child is emerging, right, coming into the world. And just before the full emergence of this child comes into being, there's this moment of focused intensity. And it's the last bearing down, the last focusing all of your effort, all of your strength, all of your energy. Every cell in your body is focused on moving this child into the world. It's that last push. So they're giving me that sense here that this is a time for bringing your energy inward, listening to your intuition, listening to that inward voice. So there's another message here around, for many of you, and this is not right or wrong, this is just what they're telling me for this period of time, that we may be expending a lot of our energy, either as healers, giving our energy away to other people. We may also be giving energy away to things that we're trying to learn right now. So you may be on a path of learning. You might be reading a lot of spiritual books. You might be learning about tarot. You might be learning about mediumship. You might be learning about crystals, or whatever it happens to be for you, fill in the blank. The energy that it requires of us to be in those spaces right now, what they're asking of us is to concentrate, bring all of that energy inward and concentrate our energy into this different space right now. This energy of heart transmission there's two messages here. There's the message of healing ourselves, bringing that energy inward to heal our own hearts, to heal our own beings. And yeah, I guess it's the same message where they're just showing me this is about bringing the energy inward, conserving our energy, not giving our energy away. And there's a reason for this. Let's see if they give me another picture here of how I can explain this. It's like a vase, right? You have a glass vase and you're filling it with water because you're going to plant flowers in there. You're going to put flowers in there. But if there's holes in the bottom of the vase, then the water is leaking out. And when you put the flower in, there's nothing to support the flower. So that's kind of what they're telling me, is that our energy coming together right now, individually and collectively, is about creating that soil or creating that container, that nourishment for the seeds that are being planted spiritually. There's the next couple of weeks, they're also showing me as things unfold in the world, and particularly for those of us that are in the United States, the unfolding of the political experience, the unfolding of the social dynamics and the social experiences of people, they're asking us to be very mindful about where we put our attention, not just what we believe. That's not wholly what they're saying. This is about where we put our attention, because we're giving energy to things that we don't necessarily want to see come to fruition, but we keep giving our energy to it over and over and over again. For some of us, this might look like fear. It might look like sadness, thoughts that we keep having about, well, the life should be this way and not this way. Politicians should act this way and not this way. So the more energy we give to that kind of experience, the less we have to nourish the seeds of the experience that we want to move into. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. It felt like they always feel like more and more complicated messages these days. So let's see what more Spirit wants to offer here around the current energies. Current energies for light workers, please. Current energies. Wow. I'm going to start with this one. Birds of a feather. Coming together. Multiple messages here. Coming together energetically, connecting in with our tribe energetically. So why they're sharing the message with me that way is to say that the tribe that we're connected to, or the tribe that you're connected to specifically, is awakening all over the planet. Not just the people you know, not just your family, not just people you might physically meet. There are people in your tribe, in your soul tribe, that are awakening all over the planet, and they're actually showing me in other dimensions and other universes too. This is happening simultaneously. So this idea of birds of a feather is, again, that inward experience of connecting in with that energy, connecting in with your tribe energetically and spiritually, and relying on that energy to help support you, which then helps support all of us, right? In your healing work right now, and in your healing experience, and in your evolution. Is there anything else on this energy? For others of you, you may be coming into connection in your physical bodies as well, in your physical experience, with new people, that there's going to be an instant recognition, an instant knowing. This is not necessarily romantic in any way. It's just an inner knowing that that person is part of your tribe. They're also indicating here that there are, for some of you, that this connection that you'll be making, or these connections that you'll be making, is the result of some changes that you're embarking on. Some of you are in the middle of changing paths. Either the universe is kind of forcing that solution, or you're choosing to change paths. I'm seeing here, movement, like, leaving one job for another, or leaving a career, moving into a whole different type of work, a whole different way of expressing yourself in the world. And again, that can be through work. Some of you are physically moving, and I'm seeing locations. So it may not be necessarily that you're moving out of state. It could be, some of you, this is also related to school. So I'm just seeing for you that there are, again, people that are going to start coming into your physical experience also, that you're going to resonate with. And you may not recognize these people right away because some of them might bother the heck out of you. You might connect with them, and in the physical world, you all might have conflict. You might be thinking, what the heck? Who is this person? But intuitively, your energy knows that this person is important in some way. And over time, you'll begin to recognize why you have that connection. Okay, I feel like that's a really pretty specific message for some of you. But in general, the energy here is around connecting with your tribe energetically and spiritually. And paying attention to the people around you. Really, really paying attention to the people around you. Recognizing whether or not these individuals that are currently in your experience are vibing where you are, or if they are vibing at a level that just doesn't feel like it's serving your purpose. And I don't mean that in to say that we can't have compassion or love or friendships with people, across the spectrum. The piece here that's important is that we're not giving our energy away to situations, relationships, or individuals that are drawing from us and not replenishing, okay? We have the energy of beyond the ordinary. There are messages coming, big messages coming. Some of you, as you start moving into this inward place and you start really tapping into this collective energy, you're going to be having experiences of what we call like downloads, major intuitive realizations, major shifts in your experience. So things that maybe you've been struggling with for a long, long, long time are going to suddenly shift. Maybe you have a pattern of being in relationship, or a pattern of, a certain job, or a certain type of way that you might interact with others or situations. And there's going to be these downloads and this kind of instant healing for some of you, an instant shift. And it's going to be so seamless, you might not even be consciously aware of it until one day you're just kind of going about your business and you realize, oh, I'm responding totally different to that situation than I used to. That's pretty amazing. For some of you, those downloads are going to lead to the change that I was talking about. For some of you, those downloads are going to lead to you making a different decision about the path that you're on, the work that you're doing, the people that you're around. So it kind of feels like there's maybe two groups of you here. And I would say the majority of you, like 60% of you, are already having these downloads. And the other 40%, the downloads are coming. And they are powerful, powerful, powerful downloads. So don't be surprised if actually, if you hit a bump after these downloads happen, if you hit a bump and you start to experience what might feel a little bit like a dark night of the soul, where everything just feels a little disorienting and you're not quite sure, what am I doing? How did I get here? What's happening? Because you may have these revelations that, again, move you in a totally different direction that's unexpected. But you will be able to handle those. You will be able to navigate those well. And then finally, they have this energy of time machine. One of the messages here that they're giving me is that it's actually funny. It's a totally contradictory message. On the one hand, they're saying time has no meaning, right? In the expanse of the spiritual realm, time has no meaning. It's all fluid. It's all happening at the same time, always, right? On the other hand, they're explaining there's something very finite about the message that they're offering today. There's something very finite about this particular message, and there's something important about the timing of it and about the resonance of this message that is, again, helping to move energy. They call it the portal. I called it birth canal, right? But that coming together in this collective to help move this energy into the next It's not phase. Is it a step? It's the next. They're showing it to me kind of like when you come up to a precipice and you step down into the valley. When you reach the precipice, right, it's been fairly effortless to get to the precipice. But once you're on that edge, and I'm seeing like the Fool card, right, for those of you that know tarot, once you're on the edge, it takes an incredible amount of energy, fortitude, focus, work, effort to now move down into the precipice, walk in the valley, and then come back up on the other side. That's what they're showing me, that there's something finite about this timing. And they are saying for those of us in the United States in general, they are saying that this message is related to the current political situation. We need to push forward, but using, quote unquote, the right kind of energy. We're not feeding fear. We're not giving away our energy. We're focusing our energy to hold the space so that we are helping this shift come into being. There are going to be things that are going to be very surprising moving forward around the political experience that's happening here in the United States. And they're just saying part of the preparation of that, part of the preparation is to bring our energy inward. So they're just very adamant about that, very adamant about our energy being focused, concentrated. So let's see if we can get some more specific messages for some of you here. Interesting. It's interesting. They're kind of bringing forward a very similar message. So this may be resonating for most of you here. They're showing us the energy of colleagues, new supportive connections, and increase, which is this energy of abundance, this energy of being wide open, available, having forward momentum. Or they're correcting me. They're saying it's not necessarily forward momentum, but it is the energy of momentum. It's the energy of abundance, the energy of this kind of clarity. So many of you on the day-to-day may be having this experience in your physical worlds, reconnecting with friends and colleagues, developing these supportive connections. So they're really encouraging that. They're really encouraging that focus. They're encouraging they're just saying, something here about make the connections real. And I would say take this as it resonates, but there's an indication here of energetically supporting us to move away from things like social media and the ways that our energy gets gobbled up or goobered up, goobly gobbled. I'm not sure what they're saying, goobly gobbled, but goobered up as a result of our engagement in social media. That'll make sense to some of you who are energetically sensitive. What energy is supporting light workers right now? Let's take a look at what is supporting you right now. Wow, there's a lot here. A lot here. Holy heck. Okay, let's start with the energy of rebirth, right? That's a little bit of the energy that I was talking about. A little bit in a different way, though. This is more personal energy as opposed to the collective energy. This is more about what's happening at the soul level. For some of you, they're giving me multiple messages. One moment, please. For some of you, you have come out of a dark night of the soul. You have come out of that energy. In tarot, traditional tarot, we call it the death card. You have emerged from something transformative. You've emerged from a shift. And you're now beginning to see the possibility of what that means, how this is going to look in your life. So at the more concrete level, you're moving into, for some of you, you're moving into this energy of expression that's more powerful than it has been. So I'm seeing some of you maybe moving into, they're telling me speaking your truth, but they're showing me that it's more like, metaphorically, it's more on a stage rather than just with an individual person. So this is about having a message that intuitively inside you have some kind of message that you want to share. For some of you, this could be writing a book. It could be, doing a speaking engagement, motivational speaking, or, talking about some kind of topic that helps to inspire people. Maybe it's about your journey. Maybe you're moving into an energy of teaching and wanting to coach and support other people through their journey. Bringing your wisdom forward and allowing that to be part of not only who you are, but being part of what you're offering in the world, how you're expressing yourself in the world. It's quite beautiful. Wow. Not quite sure how to read these energies. They're interesting. So we also have dawn, new beginning. For some of you, this energy is coming across a little bit like a tower moment, meaning for some of you, it's like the rug has been ripped out from underneath you. For some of you, that may be the experience of emerging from that, death and rebirth energy, moving into this new beginning. For some of you, I'm feeling like some of you are right in the middle of a major transition, a major change. For example, this could be divorce. It could be, again, moving, changing jobs, but it's at the very deepest level, it's affecting you at the core. The new beginning is the recognition that with every ending, I just wrote about this morning, with every ending, there's a blessing of a new beginning. And we often don't see or are open and available to the new beginning because we're so caught up in the ending and the pain of the ending or the expectation that we had about something. And so we're holding on to the end of something rather than being open to the beginning of something else. So they're just offering here that what supports your energy right now is to be available to the new beginning. Turn your focus to the possibilities, to the beginnings, okay? We have the energy of veiled. For some of you, in this current experience, rebirth, new beginnings, you might be feeling like you're completely blind, like you have no idea what's coming. You might even feel a little confused or like whiplashed, right, from where you've been and what you're moving into, because it's not quite being shown to you yet. For some of you, this is because primarily what you're stepping into is a whole new orientation. It's a whole new way of looking at things, experiencing things. It came up earlier in the reading earlier here about receiving downloads, receiving information intuitively, and being prompted as a result of that to move in a new direction. So this is equally, it's about trusting what's being shown to you, trusting what's coming in, and allowing yourself to look toward that new beginning. And the more you look toward that new beginning, the more things will become unveiled, right? They'll become clear to you. What's so interesting about this reading to me, and I don't know if you've picked up on this, but I started at the level of the collective, and I've been moving through the layers into the specifics that are more related to kind of what's happening in our daily lives, right? And what we're more conscious of. What's interesting is how these energies are mirroring each other. So I also said earlier that there are things happening globally that we are not even quite aware of yet. I can feel them. We may, and you may have a sense of that too. There are things coming into the fore. There are things coming that are happening that it will bring light eventually. And our job is to hold the container of the awareness that light will come, light will come, light will come. So as we hold that space for the universe, for our spiritual experience, we're also holding that space for ourselves. The light will come. The light will come. So if you're in a transition right now and you're not seeing where you're going and you're feeling disoriented, again, shifting your energy and your attention toward the possibilities, the new beginning, will help to clear this fog. Effortless. They're chuckling a little bit. Spirit has such a great sense of humor. They recognize that as human beings, these kinds of experiences are really hard. That it's hard to be mindful. It's hard to, be present all the time. It's hard to have clarity. It's hard to be spiritual. That these things take effort. So they're just offering a message of support with a little bit of humor, like a little wink wink at you, to say, remember, the energy moves effortlessly. Energy, if you focus it's like a radio station, right? If you tune the station into the music that you want to hear, the music coming out is effortless. There's no effort in that. You change the station and the music is effortless. That's kind of what they're saying here. It's like, shift your focus and the energy will be effortless. And I guess they're also kind of nodding to this idea of, have fun with it. Like, it doesn't have to be heavy and difficult, right? It's just energy. It's just part of what we go through in life, in being in life. Innocence. There's a sweetness in that, right? A sweetness in not allowing the baggage or the hurts and the things of the past to dictate our ability to see new beginnings, but to step into that energy like a child who's curious, a child who's experiencing the joy of being alive, right? It's one of the beautiful things about childhood is that, there's so little reference point when you're young that you have the ability to be so present and so focused and to be in total joy and abundance in that moment and not even realize, right? Not even realizing that's where you are. And then finally, we have the energy of communion. They're telling me this is the most important energy here for you. It's the most important energy in this reading. And it goes back to the original message that came forward earlier when I was talking about the collective. And this is about that inward, being in that inward energy and listening to spirit, listening to your higher self, listening to the voice within, eliminating the distractions, or at least turning your attention away from the distractions. There's something very powerful and potent about letting spirit speak directly to you. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at what energy is ready to be released. What energy is ready to be released here? Looks like we're going to have a feline visitor. Pardon me. What energy is ready to be released? Wow. Yep. Oh my gosh. So much here. We even have the energy of release needs to be released, right? So all the things that we hold on to that just clog up our energy, they clog up our thoughts, they clog up our heart, they clog up our life. And they're giving me the image of a drain, like it's time to just send down the crystal Drano, what is it called? The Drano, and let the energy just start moving. Ask your guides for support, but becoming a space of releasing energy rather than holding on. Giving up these artificial facades, giving up the stories that we tell ourselves that keep us stuck. This is powerful. So releasing the energy of being of service. Let me clarify that. There is nothing wrong with being of service. People are called to being of service. As healers, we are innately called to being of service. What we're releasing is how we're being of service. Are we giving away our own energy? Are we depleting ourselves in order to support others, right? There's also a message here for just a few of you. They're telling me very specifically, there's a few of you moving into hospice work or being changing the service that you do, being a is it translator? It's a liaison for people between life and death, that you have a natural gift with that. So whoever that message resonates for, that is specific for you. But the main message here is about changing the way that we are of service. Releasing impartiality. That's kind of interesting. Oh, they're telling me that this energy is about trusting your own intuition, trusting your inner guidance. So for some of us, we might find ourselves in experiences where we don't make decisions, where we have an option between two things and we just kind of go, oh, whatever, no, roll with it. They're saying releasing that to move into utilizing your intuition more, because as you're stepping into this new energy, there are way more messages for you than you're accessing. And by releasing this sort of impartiality, you're opening to your intuition so that you can choose based on the energy of a thing, okay? Based on the energetics of it. It's time to release grief. This can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Grief it can be kind of tricky. What they're showing me here is this is also around expectations. I feel like that came up earlier. Expectations of the way life should be, the way I think it should be. Why aren't our politicians, why don't they have more integrity? You know, things like that. For some of you, this is about current grief. I feel like there's just a couple of you in this energy that I'm picking up on, where you may have had recent loss or some very serious changes that are really where you might be in this energy of grief. And so I would never tell somebody to ignore their grief. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. But recognize that grief is part of the process. And, you know, the piece here is about not getting stuck in the grief, not allowing the grief to hold you back, but allow it to be a catalyst into your next growth, you know, into your growth, so that you're using that energy to grow you. You can see all these tendrils here that are growing, but when not used as a catalyst, these tendrils can, you know, wrap us up and hold us back and constrict us. Okay. They're telling me somebody recently lost a pet also. I've never gotten that from this card, even though there's a little puppy right here, but they're saying that somebody recently lost a pet. Yeah, that's a very specific message for someone listening to this. The pet is at peace. They want you to know that. The pet is at peace. It's time to release guilt. It's time to let go of being an overdoer, giving everything to everyone, okay? This is part of that overall shift and that overall change that we are in collectively and individually in this transformation. recognizing that if we give away too much of ourselves, there's nothing left to nurture the thing that we want to grow, that we want to nurture. I used the example earlier of the vase with the holes in it, right? If you have a vase with holes and you put flowers in it, the flowers are going to die. So it's important to maintain your energetic integrity, if you will. Vanity. They're giving me a couple messages here. Give me just a moment to tap into this energy. There's a message here. Again, it's kind of about what we give our energy to, but it's also about what energy do we expect to come toward us. This is kind of a heavy message, actually, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind. But this is a little bit about that change for some people. There's a shift here that's happening with the individual ego, that some of us may be in roles where we are teachers, or we are coaches, or we are helpers in some way, where we have an audience, where we have people that come to us. And part of, I say your transformation, but part of our transformation is to check ourselves that we are connecting in with, and the only word I can think of is humility, as an opposite language to vanity, but it's be mindful about what you're cultivating and why, how you're cultivating and why. And then again, on the flip side of that affirming message of be mindful about what you're giving your energy to. Where are you focusing your attention and your thoughts? And I'm seeing this, it's so loud and clear to me. And you know, again, take what resonates. And here we are on a social media platform on YouTube, right? But be mindful about giving too much attention to things like social media, the news, not because these can't be valuable tools, but because for those of us that are sensitive, it can interfere with our inner clarity. And the message here, the overarching message here, is around finding, seeking, and moving toward our inner clarity, okay? And finally, we're ready to release this energy of discovery. It's interesting, actually, there's something related here with vanity. There's something about, for many of us, we've had an idea of what it means to be on a spiritual journey, what it means to be a seeker, what it means to be a healer, and all of that is shifting. So it's like releasing this old, I think facade came up earlier also, releasing this old facade, releasing this old idea of what we thought it was to be a healer, what we thought it would be to be called into this energy of light worker. All of that is changing now. It's all changing, and we get to be part of that beautiful shift. So it's amazing. All right, let's take a look at anything that needs to be healed here, and any supportive gem energy for those on this. Wow, tons of cards flying out. For those that are watching this video, any supportive healing energy from our gems, and what's ready to be healed here. Thank you. Yeah, totally. I feel like there's a couple more. Wow, some of you have some big decisions to make. That's coming through really clear. Some of you have some major decisions to make, and they feel really big. Any more energy here for the collective, please? Thank you. Yeah. So the stones we have for healing energies, they call these bogie stones, but they're kind of an earth stone. So this is about groundedness, balance. Azurite. That was my cat. Azurite, expanded awareness, and ancient wisdom crystal, which is usually like a topaz or a smoky quartz. And new beginnings, cacoexenite. I'm not familiar with that particular stone. But these are all areas energetically where vibrations need to be cleared, balanced. I could also look at this as heart chakra, root chakra, and third eye chakra, brow chakra. Okay, so again, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. I'm going to pull a final 2 messages for you all. Any spiritual guidance? Any spiritual guidance for our collective, please? Oops. Yeah. Spiritual guidance for our collective, please. Thank you. It's snowing outside and my cat is very excited right now. Oh, this is interesting. Spiritual guidance. Today is the day to cast aside, sorry, let me start over again. On spiritual guidance, we have give back. Today is the day to cast aside normal routines and make your main purpose to serve. It is about giving back without any thoughts or expectation of getting anything in return. Reach out and touch other people's spirits. It is highly likely that someone really needs it today. I feel like this is affirmative. It sounds like it's contradictory, but it's affirmative to me that it's time to start practicing. What does it look like to be a space of compassion, to be a place of support, to be a healer in this new way without giving away your energy? What does that look like? So I feel like this is Spirit saying, practice that, play with that. We have the energy here, intuitive nudges. Intuition is the language of the soul. We are all born aware with a profound sense of inner knowing. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we possess, which keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and to our divine spirit. Yeah. Very affirming message there about staying in tune with that inner energy, staying connected to the intuitive information that's coming forward. And this is interesting. We have the final card here is vulnerability. This is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown. I get it. An unfamiliar territory where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. They're telling me that's an important message for several of you right now. Okay, and since it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to pull a special message from my heart and soul deck. Spirit, what? Okay, I have to run across the room. Hold on a second. I'm curious. These 2 fell on the floor here. Beautiful. Yeah. These are messages about tuning out the past, tuning out the negative thoughts. They're still giving us 2 cards here. Wonderful. Beautiful. So let me read these. This card reflects protection, freedom, and success. It won't be quick or easy, but you will succeed and you are protected along the way. Free yourself of past doubt, fear, and guilt. Let go of fixed expectations. Be flexible, adaptable, and open to new avenues and ideas. A higher power is trying to guide you. Something you love may be coming to an end, yes, and it's only natural for you to be saddened. However, this ending also provides a new beginning. All unfolds for your highest good. Life is full of transformation, and with a new beginning comes a new chapter in the story that is you. May you each find something in this message that's helpful to you, that brings clarity, comfort, peace, and ease to your journey. I wish you wellness and peace and love and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. Until next time. Ciao.